Hello traders. Now this video is a very long awaited one. Heikin Ashi. I've got multiple requests that sir you use this type of candlesticks on your charts. We have noticed. Please tell us a little bit more about it. I'm quite surprised that many of us are not aware of Heikin Ashi that much. So let's dig into the concept of Heikin Ashi in this video. All right, so without wasting much time, I would get into the concept of Heikin Ashi with you. I have purposely jotted down 5 important pointers, of which the 4th one is going to be really interesting for you. But the first one is, what are Heikin Ashi candles? So, as you can see on my screen, I have TradingView open. Most of us use TradingView. So, Reliance on the daily time frame, and this is our conventional candlestick charts, no problem. The way to plot an Heikin Ashi is you come up here, not there, that's for the time frame. You come up over here, this is the area, and you'll find various ways in which you can plot different types of candles, bars, hollow candles, etc. And down here, over here, you will find Heikin Ashi. Click on it and your chart becomes a Heikin Ashi candle. It looks different. Prima facie, you will definitely agree with me कि ये दिखता थोड़ा सा different है. Of course, it is different, and the word that I would like to use for Heikin Ashi is it is a modified candle. It's a modified candle. अब if the word modification is getting used, इसके पीछे कुछ formula होगा. I'm sure there has to be certain rules due to which the Japanese candlestick charts which we use so extensively has got changed or modified. Yes, Heikin Ashi candles are a modified candle and there is a formula behind it. Now, without going too much into the maths part of it, I was just looking at, I just typed Heikin Ashi candles on the internet, and mujhe stockcharts.com, this is a very old website. There are very important websites which are there in the market, wherein you will find this formula. Formula will not change, but I have used my age-old website, which I personally used to use 20 years back, stockcharts.com. And over here, you will see in 4 pointers of open, high, low, close, what is the formula of a Heikin Ashi candle. Now see, a typical Japanese candle will have open, high, low, and close. And so a Heikin Ashi candle also has an open, high, low, and close, but their formula are different. The very obvious one is an Heikin Ashi open, as you can see on my screen, an Heikin Ashi open is the average of open, high, low, close divided by 4. Okay? So clearly it is slowing down the closing price. So it is modifying the closing price. Similarly, if I show you what is the Heikin Ashi close, or where is the close? That was the close, I'm sorry. This is the open. The open is open plus close divided by 2. So it is getting modified. If I take you to the chart and try and explain this to you in my way, okay, not the typical formula mathematical way, then if a Heikin Ashi candle happens to have both the shadows, then this is the high of the Heikin Ashi, this is the high of the candle, actual candle. If the Heikin Ashi happens to have a lower shadow, this is the low of the Heikin Ashi, and this is the low of the actual candle also. The opening of Heikin Ashi, every open of Heikin Ashi happens at the middle of the previous Heikin Ashi body. This is where things gets a little tricky. This is where things get a little, let's say, different. Because the opening of Heikin Ashi is not the actual open ever. So you can say the high of the Heikin Ashi can be the actual high, the low of the Heikin Ashi can be the actual low, but the close and open are never the same. The open is at the midpoint of the previous day's Heikin Ashi, and we just saw that close is open, high, low, close divided by 4. So let's stick to the word, it's a modified candle. Now, this modified candle has certain pros and cons, and this is our second pointer that I've saved for you, and that is, what are the pros and cons of using Heikin Ashi candles? What are the strengths and weaknesses? What are the advantages and disadvantages? Let's start with disadvantages. We have discussed this briefly. The disadvantage of Heikin Ashi clearly is the fact that we do not get to see where is the actual open and where is the actual close. However, जहाँ पे shadows है, wherever there are some shadows, we can figure out highs and lows. But open we don't know, close we don't know. Now, because of this disadvantage, there at times what I do, I toggle between bar chart or Heikin Ashi and bar chart, candles and Heikin Ashi to understand where lies the open and the close. But don't worry, point number 4, which I am going to take up little later, will solve this issue. So, a major disadvantage of Heikin Ashi candles is we can't see where is the open and where is the actual close. कुछ तो positive होगा. Of course, if I am giving away something, I should get something in return. And to get something in return, the advantages of Heikin Ashi is it creates a certain visual clarity in terms of the trend. देखिए, what it does, it slows down the chart. When the market is going up and down, green, red, lot of choppiness, volatility, Heikin Ashi essentially is a slower version of the candles. It's a modified version of the candles. It slows down the chart. In other ways to say this to you, to tell this to you is, it reduces the choppiness, it reduces the volatility. So that's why I personally like Heikin Ashi and I use it aggressively as a sign of confirmation. The final decision is taken, the final confirmed decision is taken from Heikin Ashi. So it gives clarity in terms of the flow of the trend. But there are few more advantages. A very simple basic advantages that I would like to share with you is, if you are a student of technical analysis, you must have studied classical candlestick patterns, head and shoulder bottom, double top, double bottom, triple top, triple bottom, triangles, pennants, flags, etc., diamond, right? And you must have used your Japanese candlestick charts. And at times you might have thought that, is this a rising wedge or is it not? You might have got some, let's say, inhibition back of your mind. Now, I've personally noticed this, that if you use an Heikin Ashi candlestick chart, then these classical conventional candlestick patterns, it pops up very clearly. You will be able to identify a nice rising wedge much more better than if you use it on a bar chart or a candlestick chart. So this is also another advantage of using Heikin Ashi candles. But the major advantage of Heikin Ashi candles is what I have saved for you on my third pointer, which is, what are the few Heikin Ashi patterns which are really useful. Let me walk you through this. Listen to me carefully. The way I look at it, I can observe 3 different types of Heikin Ashi candles. The first one is something like this, a positive, let's say green colored Heikin Ashi, which has an upper shadow, which does not have a lower shadow. So if I put it down for you, number 1 is a positive Heikin Ashi. It can be green, blue, pink, teal, whatever color you prefer. It has an upper shadow. It happens to have an upper shadow. And number 3, very important, no lower shadow. When you get a pattern like this, which is over here, this implies, this is an implication that it's a positive trend. The direction of the market, the direction of the price is on the upside, and it's pretty strong. See, pretty strong does not necessarily mean it will continue. At this point, if I point this positive Heikin at this, it is telling us that it is positive. It's done a good job. It's done a good move upside. That does not have a predictive angle that from here it will go up. It may or may not go up. It's just giving us an information. It's not enabling us to predict what can happen next. That is up to us. So if this is a positive Heikin, then I ask myself, what is a negative Heikin? Well, negative Heikin is something like this, which is shaping up right in front of us. If I write down the pointers for you, it is a negative Heikin, means it's got a negative body. So again, I have colored it red. Most of the softwares will do that. Number 2, it has a lower shadow, as you can see. And number 3, very important, no upper shadow. And when we get this, this implies that it's a downtrend or a weak market. The price behavior is weakish, it's weak. I'll again repeat, just because it is giving me a weakish reading does not necessarily tells me, or this Heikin tells me, that the market will fall. It may fall. That is where our next level of analysis comes into play. So, 2 types, positive Heikin, negative Heikin. So, in between this positive Heikin and negative Heikin, we may get n number of combinations of these guys. Can you see on my screen these guys? So, what are these guys? These guys are, first and foremost, they have both the shadows. Dono taraf, they have both the shadows. Now, the body of these Heikin Ashis may be green, that is positive, or may be red or negative. Positive bhi ho sakta hai wo, negative bhi ho sakta hai. And another point I should mention here, that the size of the body matters. The size of the body matters. This is where it is tricky. This is where it is interesting. And this is where it is going to get profitable, or it is going to throw us an opportunity. First and foremost, these candles, I like to call them bars, or should I say consolidatory bars, or signs of consolidation. Let's say sign of consolidation. Sign of consolidation, we can also say in a simpler way, sign of slowdown. Sign of slowdown. I will ask myself, slowdown of what? From what? So there can be 2 possibilities. Let's say the market was going up, now it's slowing down. Or let's say, take this example. It's always great to take examples and discuss. If this is a sign of slowdown, then the first thing I'll ask you, why are you slowing down? Then the chart will tell me, listen, I was falling for 5 days, I need to slow down. So I get a clear indication that this sign of slowdown is after a trend, after a directional move. So I raise a question, the analyst in me, the trader in me raises a question, okay, are you slowing down because the selling is over and you want to reverse? Or you've fallen quite a bit, you're slowing down and you fall some more. You know, when I take up these concepts in our courses, in my programs, I always take an example of my Mumbai working days. When I was in that city, and I was there from 2004 to almost 2012, quite often I used to go to the city of Pune, right? And those who live in that city, you know it takes around 1.5 to 2 hours drive if you're driving well enough. And right after the toll naka, on the left hand side, you have that food plaza, the toll plaza. What do you do in that toll plaza? Do you wait for 1 hour? No, you wait for 5-10 minutes, lighten up a little bit, eat up, I used to eat a vada pav, right? So what, 10-15 minutes? So in that parlance, in that analogy, if we talk about from point A to point B, the price falls, but market wants to go to Pune, it wants to go a little bit more, and it takes a halt. This is that halt. This is that consolidation. This is that slowdown. On the other hand, when you reach Pune, when the entire fall happens, you also tend to slow down. You probably check in somewhere, slow down, and then start up with whatever reasons you've gone there. That can be a reversal. That can be a fall. So, bottom line of this story is these are all signs of slowdown. And we have to check that this particular sign of slowdown, is it coming after a directional move or is it anyways range bound? Listen, if the market is not going anywhere and it's giving signs of slowdown, does it really matter? No. But if the market is going somewhere and it gives signs of slowdown, then it matters. I think you'll agree with me. So, this sign of consolidations, please look out after they have given you a directional movement. So, these are the signs of consolidations. These are the bars which can lead to the next move on the upside or on the downside. Now, while explaining consolidation, I had also mentioned size of the body matters. So, I will not go too deep into this because it will make this video too long. Long story short as possible, as small as possible. As short as possible should be the size of the entire Heikin Ashi. As small as possible should be the size of the body. Jitna chota Heikin Ashi ka candle or jitna chota uska body, better it is. So, if I personally see a consolidatory bar like this, I am least interested. It has a huge range, but it has a small body. But sorry, not interested. So, you look for what I would love to say, a Heikin Ashi spinning top or a Heikin Ashi doji. These are PowerPoints. These are the ones which will open the door of opportunity. Now the fourth point, and I did tell you earlier that the fourth point will help you to keep an eye on the opening as well as the closing price. Now, for a pretty long point of time, what I used to do is I used to look at bar chart and Heikin Ashi together at the same point. But recently, one of our students figured out, and most of the students love to use the Japanese candlesticks, is there is a way to look at Heikin and Japanese candlestick chart simultaneously. Yes, all that we have to do is go to this indicators section, indicators over here, okay, and you type JAPANESE, Japanese, and Japanese candles created by someone named Dakota pops up. Just click on it. The moment you click on it, you get the Japanese candlesticks here. Now, what I have personally done on my charts is I have taken it up, I have reduced the width of it, and I have played around with the color a little bit. I have made it a little softer. And so, at any point of time, if I open any chart, let's say Cipla, if I open the chart of Cipla, then the first thing which I notice are the Japanese candlesticks. So, I know Cipla opened weak, it's a red Heikin, it's a red candlestick, it has fallen, it is the lowest point of the day. So, I get a sense of bearishness from the Japanese candlestick, and then I take a look at the Heikin. Are you confirming the bearishness from here or not? So, this will be really useful. If you're used to looking at Japanese candlesticks, then a combination of Heikin and Japanese candlesticks will be really useful. I hope you liked it. Let me know in the comment section. Last but not the least, the fifth point is conclusion. For the conclusion, what I would like to say is to share my own experience of Heikin Ashi. I, just like you, used to use Japanese candlestick charts to begin my career with, but I loved bar chart, to be honest. But then few years back, I stumbled upon Heikin Ashi. I took a deep dive, I studied, though there is not much you can find on the internet or outside, and I started using it. When I started using it, I observed a few patterns, repetitions, setups which popped up. And so I've kind of accumulated them, I have kind of chiseled them out and made them into strategies and setups. And my conclusion is, it's a modified candle, it's a slower version of price. Use it as a confirmation. If you're waiting for the price to show you strength, wait for a positive green Heikin. If you are looking to short any stock or the index and you're waiting for the sign of confirmation, let the market fall, then I'll short. In those kind of cases, Heikin Ashi is useful. Also in those cases where the market is consolidating, and I explained it to you. And lastly, a little bit, if you like to see these kind of patterns, Heikin Ashi will give you a much cleaner, finer picture where these patterns lie. Right? I think this was a longish video than I would have anticipated, but as I said, it was a long wait also. Many suggested me that I should make a simple video on Heikin Ashi. Did I keep it simple? Again, do let me know, and if you like my work, do subscribe. Till then, that's me signing off, and let me know about, do you use Heikin Ashi or not? And if there's any patterns you personally have found out that I have missed, then together we can improve our analysis better. Thank you everyone. Trade well, take care of yourselves. Goodbye.